That distinctive gap-toothed grin, the impeccably tailored suits, the sneering aristocratic disdain. You instantly know who we're talking about. Terry Thomas.
What, the sinking or something?
No, sir, worse. Much worse. We've run out of tonic.
Run out of tonic? But that's not terrible, that's catastrophic.
I'm sorry, sir.
You're sorry? What do you mean you're sorry? It's like Napoleon saying I'm sorry after the Battle of Waterloo. Perkins, do you realize that gin and tonic is the cornerstone of the British Empire? The empire was built on gin and tonic. Gin to fight the boredom of exile, and quinine to fight malaria. How else do you think we could have carried the cross of responsibility for the lives of millions without the friendly fortitude of gin and tonic? And you've run out of tonic, Perkins. That's treason. Go before I strike you.
Very good, sir.
He was the quintessential cad, the bounder, the lovable rogue, who somehow managed to embody every slightly upper crust, delightfully villainous and utterly hilarious English gentleman on screen. His unique persona wasn't just acting, it was a masterclass in character, making him one of Britain's most beloved and internationally recognized entertainers of the 20th century. So, how did Thomas Terry Hoare Stevens become the iconic Terry Thomas? Let's find out.
All right, Courtney, shoot off. You've had your treat. Well, go on.
Born Thomas Terry Hoare Stevens in Finchley, London in 1911, Terry Thomas's early life was far from the debauched extravagance he often portrayed. He came from a solid middle-class background and held a string of rather ordinary jobs, from a clerk to a greengrocer and even a salesman. But deep down, he yearned for the stage. He started out in amateur dramatics, and by the late 1930s, he was making inroads into professional theatre, sometimes as a straight actor, sometimes as a light comedian. It was during these formative years that he began to cultivate the distinctive mannerisms, the clipped voice, and that infamous gap between his front teeth, which he never had fixed, of course. That would become his trademark. He wasn't just playing characters, he was meticulously crafting the Terry Thomas brand. By the mid-1950s, Terry Thomas made the leap to film, and it was here that his iconic persona truly blossomed. He perfected the role of the charming, often conniving, but always impeccably dressed English cad or bounder.
Oh, hello, Palfrey. Hello. Where did you find this lovely creature?
Oh, we met quite by accident, as a matter of fact. I was trying to catch a bus and April was...
No, do a decent thing, old chap. Fellow club members and all that sort of thing.
Yes, of course. Mr. Raymond Delaunay, Miss April Smith.
What a romantic name. Oh, to be in England now that April's here. How do you do?
How do you do?
Oh, you two chaps finished dinner already?
We haven't even started. We can't get a table.
Oh, fiddle-de-diddle. Skinner, my guests.
Certainly, sir.
Now, tell me, you lovely creature. Oh, Palfrey, look after Skinner.
He became a staple of classic British comedies, a master of physical comedy with a sneer, a raised eyebrow, or a subtle strut. Films like Private's Progress, 1956, I'm All Right Jack, 1959, and School for Scoundrels, 1960, showcased his ability to steal every scene he was in. He effortlessly conveyed disdain, superiority, and a delightful self-importance that audiences adored, even when he was technically the villain. His performances were a finely tuned symphony of subtle gestures and perfectly delivered lines.
Mr. Traceperson, I suppose. He engaged me. But surely the men must know that I...
No? Get this into your head. They know nothing other than what's in their pay packet at the end of the week. We got chaps here who can break out into a muck sweat merely by standing still. One thing they can't stand is being stopwatched.
But the sole purpose of time and motion study is to enable the men to work efficiently, well within their natural capacity.
Capacity? My dear fellow, the only capacity natural to these stinkers is the capacity to dodge the column.
Terry Thomas's unique brand of British charm and villainy wasn't confined to the UK for long. Hollywood soon came calling, eager to cast him in major international productions. He often played variations of his established English gentleman role, but on a grander, more global scale.
Oh, it was Mrs. Ford's body he buried in the wet cement. Impossible.
I say, you don't actually mean? But of course, you're absolutely right. Oh, what a silly ninny I was not to have seen through it before. Of course you did. Oh. Congratulations, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You know, you had me completely fooled. I thought it was a dummy, even I. But that makes me a bit of a dummy, doesn't it? I can't tell you how happy I am. I'll give Mr. Rawlins my notice, and I'll be able to take up residence early next week.
The prosecution rests.
Who could forget his memorable turn in the epic ensemble comedy It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, 1963.
I'm afraid you caught me on the hop there. Oh, madam, do be careful. I have some specimens of cat...
No!
I say, I'm most frightfully sorry. You see, I've been gathering some samples of desert flora.
Well, where shall I put this?
Oh, boy. Morning. Morning.
Yeah. It certainly is. Look, buddy, we're in a hurry. We
Yes.
gotta get to a phone.
Of course, with pleasure.
Please,
with pleasure.
hurry.
I say, jolly nasty accident there. Jolly lucky nobody was hurt.
Hey, where did you get that funny accent? Are you from Harvard or something?
Harvard? Oh, rather not. I'm English.
Sounds so foreign.
Really? Oh, I say, we haven't introduced ourselves, have we? My name is Algernon Hawthorne. Colonel Hawthorne, actually.
You're a colonel?
Well, Lieutenant Colonel.
Or his delightful performance as the British flyer Sir Percy Ware Armitage in Those Magnificent Men in Their Flying Machines, 1965. His persona, built on subtle class distinctions and a wonderfully exaggerated sense of superiority, translated surprisingly well across the Atlantic, proving his truly universal comedic appeal. Terry Thomas continued to work prolifically through the 1970s, but tragically, he began to suffer from the debilitating effects of Parkinson's disease. This cruel illness gradually took its toll, first affecting his speech, then his mobility. He was forced to retire from acting in the early 1980s. It was a heartbreaking end for a man whose life was built on precise comedic timing and a distinctive voice. Yet, even in the face of this profound personal challenge, he faced it with remarkable dignity. A famous benefit gala was held in his honor in 1989, raising funds and reminding the public of the joy he had given them for so many years.
Drury Lane, what
watching 2,340-odd people going in for the Terry Thomas Gala. Over 100 stars giving their services free of charge today. Amongst them, of course, people from Bristol. Russ Conway's in there, and 70 members of the Great Western Chorus. Let's go on in and I'll show you what's happening.
Terry Thomas passed away in 1990, but his legacy as a truly unique and brilliant comedic actor remains firmly etched in entertainment history. He was a master of character acting, a pioneer who transformed himself from an ordinary Londoner into an international icon. His distinctive look, his unforgettable voice, and that brilliant, gap-toothed smile continue to bring joy to new generations. Terry Thomas truly proved that sometimes it's the little imperfections, perfectly leveraged, that make an entertainer absolutely unforgettable.